Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tory if you're new here, and today we are going to be doing a fall meal prep. I am going to include some items that I had on the shelf, as well as some items that we grew in the garden and some items that were given to us. But first things first, we started our day at the pumpkin patch, so please enjoy some footage. I just wanted to throw this in here so I can remember it. If you don't want to watch, you don't have to. Skip ahead. There will be food at the end, but I was just so excited to spend the weekend with my family during my favorite season. Alright, we just got home and I am starting out on our squash. So I have an acorn squash, a spaghetti squash, and a butternut squash. I grew the spaghetti squash, but I bought the other two squash at the farm market for 50 cents a piece. I'm definitely going to go back and stock up so I can cook them. They are a little tricky to cut and all that, but I feel like it's worth it. So I'm just going to cut these all in half and deseed them. I'm going to save the seeds for next season, as well as roast some so I can snack on them throughout the week. I'm just going to put some olive oil, salt, pepper, and some seasonings and roast them in the oven at 400 for around 45 to 50 minutes.
Hard working every day, I'm stressed out 24/7, babe. No timeouts, wish we could fly away. You and I go to our favorite place. Oh yeah, make special memories together. I'll be your company now and forever. I say we fly away, you and me, go to our favorite place. Feeling the sun on my face in Hawaii. With you, Hawaii. With you, Hawaii. With you, Hawaii. I need a summer breeze, some fresh air to put my mind at ease. No cares. You wanna come with me? Me and you go to our favorite tree. Are you ready now?
So now that all the seeds are taken from the pulps here, I am just laying them out on a dishcloth and I'm just taking them so they can dry so I can put them in a bag to plant them next season, and so they roast at a good level of roasting, we shall call it. If they get moist, they're not as crispy as I want them to be. So I'm just putting some olive oil and avocado oil blend on here, some sage, garlic powder, onion powder. Really, you could season these with anything that you want, but this is the base of most of our meal prep, so it's based around all of these squashes.
We won't ever come down, we won't ever come down low. Running from a ghost town where we never feel high, just low. We won't ever come down, we won't ever come down low. Feeling the sun on my face in Hawaii. With you, Hawaii. With you, Hawaii. With you, Hawaii. In Hawaii. We won't ever come down, we won't ever come down low. Running from a ghost town where we never feel high, just low. We won't ever come down, we won't ever come down low.
I get so caught up in the middle, thinking of drowning in those blue eyes. I'm losing sight 'cause I am falling. I'm so deep down, deep down. And it's not a lie that I die. I can't hide what this is.
I'm going to roast these seeds at 400 for around 15 minutes. They do tend to pop, so you may find some at the bottom of your oven. Wait till it cools and then take those out of there. And don't forget, all of these recipes will be typed out in the description box below, along with the temps and times and everything that I can do to make your life a little easier. And now I'm going to start on the brown rice. I did purchase this at the store for 89 cents, and it is just 3 cups of rice, and I do 6 cups of liquid. I do rinse my rice 3 or 4 times before I cook it. It's just something that I've always done. You can see it's still a little murky, but this is good enough for me. I'm going to bring it to a boil on the stove with just a little bit of vegan butter, salt, and pepper, and then I am going to let it simmer for around 20 minutes, and it makes this perfect fluffy brown rice.
We stumble and fall. And it's not a lie that I die. I can't hide.
While that rice cooks, I'm going to get started on my chickpea Waldorf salad. So I am going to be saving the chickpea liquid to make a aqua faba mayo. Aqua faba is just the liquid from the chickpeas, but I am going to be rinsing those chickpeas here. And then in this container, I have a 1/4 cup of aqua faba, 3/4 cup of avocado oil, a little bit of mustard, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, some sugar, salt, and pepper. So I'm just going to take my immersion blender and turn it into mayo. This is super cost effective, and it's easy for me as a vegan. I don't have to use any eggs. The oil is the egg substitute, and it tastes so delicious. So now I'm assembling the salad. I'm going to smush some of the chickpeas, not all of them. It depends on your consistency. You could absolutely use pulled chicken for this if you wanted, or vegan chicken, but I am choosing the plant route. I'm not a big fan of vegan substitutes, so try and do plant-based items whenever I can. And now in here I have chopped pecans, I have some red onion, I have some green apple, and a few teaspoons of this mayo. I'm going to mix everything together, salt and pepper it, and let it sit covered in the refrigerator overnight, just so all of those flavors can combine. I'm going to serve it with crackers or wraps this week, but it is so tasty. I already had a little bit. And now I'm going to roast some vegetables. I have some red pepper, some red onion. I do have some roasted potatoes that I did earlier in the week, so I'm just going to put those on there. A little bit of carrot and frozen broccoli. I'm going to add my oil to it and add some salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, you know, the usual, and a touch of balsamic vinegar. I'm going to roast this at 400 for around 25 minutes. And now moving on, I'm making a homemade ranchero sauce, so it's essentially enchilada sauce and tomato sauce combined, depending what region you are from. I borrowed this recipe from my neighbor, so big shout to you if you watch my channel. And I am just putting a bunch of spices in there, and then a healthy portion of chili powder. I'm going to put a splash of oil in there as well as some water. And then I'm going to be mixing it with just some pizza sauce that I had in the refrigerator. You could do tomato sauce if you wanted, but honestly, any tomato-based sauce works for me and this recipe. I can put this over top of a lot of things this week, but I just wanted it to get going and get ready to be put into the refrigerator, because it is best when these ingredients have been combined for a few days. I am sure you've seen me do spaghetti squash on the channel, but I am just showing you one more time here. So I already have half in there. I'm going to fork the other half in, and I'm going to make this into spaghetti squash with a rosé sauce. So I'm doing half a jar of that Primal Kitchen Alfredo sauce. It's plant-based. I believe it's cauliflower based, and then half a jar of just regular tomato sauce. Mixing that together, I might throw in some fresh basil, but that should be easy to grab and go for dinner or lunch. I'm putting it back into its glass container here. This also could go really well with those roasted vegetables. And that is going to be it for the prep itself. I will go over each thing here and what exactly I did, but this was so simple. It did not take any time at all. Of course, it took a little bit of time because I filmed it, but this was easy and cheap and delicious. 3 of my favorite things. So we are going to start over here. This is the chickpea Waldorf salad. I call it Waldorf salad because of the apple and the pecan. I might serve it over some fresh spinach or maybe some crackers or on some whole grain bread. It's really good as is, and it is healthy. So yay, win, win, win. Here are those roasted vegetables. Honestly, they could go in just about anything. They could even go on that chickpea salad. It's just nice to have on hand. Here's that spaghetti squash that we did last, and that is going to be super easy to grab and go. My husband will really love that with some chicken or maybe meatballs. Here is the Ranchero sauce. Like I said, it's best when it's been marinating in the refrigerator altogether, and I will probably make some enchiladas with that this week. We do have a lot of flour tortillas in the freezer. And then this is going to be the acorn squash. I sprinkled it with some extra sage and garlic, and that is going to be super easy to just add to basically anything. I think the enchiladas will go really great with that filling. And then moving on to butternut squash, I mixed it with some vegan butter and vegan cream cheese, and I made it into a mash. I'm going to serve it with some brown gravy later on in the week to make like a KFC bowl with some corn and vegan chicken tenders, things like that. And then this is the rice. It certainly yielded a lot, and I'm really happy because brown rice hasn't really been my thing in the past, but I've learned how to cook it in a way that I like it. And then these are going to be those seeds that I roasted in the olive oil. I would like them a little bit crispier, so I'm actually going to put them back in. But here is the other half I am saving to plant for next year. So that is really easy for me. Like I said, those squash were $1 combined, and the other one I grew. So all of this was satisfying. It is something that I needed to get done today. I was super stressed to the max, and cooking always helps me out. I hope you all enjoyed this fall meal prep. Thank you so much for being here. As always, stay adventurous, stay creative. I'll see you next time, y'all. Bye.